There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Hard to understand, but a hell of a man. This cat of the slum had a mind, wasn't dumb. But a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. The game he plays for keeps. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what he's trying to do, y'all. Taking all that he can take, gambling with the odds of fate, trying to get over, trying to get over, trying to get over, trying to get over. Ooh, Superfly. The aim of his role was to move a lot of blow. Ask him his dream, what does it mean? He wouldn't know. Can't be like the rest, is the most he'll confess. But the time's running out and there's no happiness. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Superfly, Superfly, trying to get over, 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 trying to get over.
My favorite song of all time, Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, because it had an impact on my life. I started hustling really at a young age, and the way I started hustling, I was going to the store for the number man in my block. So he would be like, we need coffee and some other stuff. So that's how I started hustling. When I was young, I started like that. I grew up in Harlem on 100. First, I used to live on 132nd Street. That's where my mother first took me, 132nd Street, between 8th and 7th, in the middle of the block. We had like a railroad flat.
Oh, the moon.
The long, yeah, but it was just me and my mom, so we made do. Then after that, we moved downtown 119th Street, and Morningside Avenue. Moved with her girlfriend because she had the same hookup, but she needed somebody, you know, in the house. So we moved down there, me and my mother, we moved down there. I went to 180. This was like early 60s.
Okay.
Might have been the end. Yeah, the early 60s. Yeah, in the early 60s. So, this song is about how people got over in the streets, you know. How young men, instead of going to school, they chose to sell drugs and provide for their family. In a way that it was good, but then again, it wasn't good. Because I know a lot of young men today that they wound up disappearing and their families never seen them again. Example, I got had a friend named Jimmy. Me and Jimmy went to the same high school. Jimmy used to live downtown, 114th Street, and Lenox Avenue. Yeah, 114th in Lenox, but in the projects, the Forster.
Forster Projects.
He
Martin
used
Luther King now.
Yeah. He used to live in the Forster, him and his family, because Jimmy and they came from down south. You could tell he was raised right. So Jimmy got involved with some people, and one day Jimmy didn't come to the house. He didn't come back to school no more. A couple of days it went on. Everybody was like, "Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy? Anybody seen Jimmy?" Even the teachers, they seen something in him, like they see, in certain people. They seen something in Jimmy. Plus, he was a mean basketball player. He played the point. He was good. So a month went by and nobody never heard nothing, So everybody came to one conclusion: he got snatched. Because this how much money really people was making.
Right.
With that. And the song, it'll teach you about the streets, and it'll glorify, but mainly it'll teach you about the streets.
And how so?
How so? Back to my friend Jimmy. Okay. It taught him. Even, it taught him just like it taught me. The streets, in my lifetime, I had like elders. We used to call them elders back then. I had elders. They would teach me. And my main mentor was a brother named Sonny. Sonny took me under his wing. So that's when I moved uptown. And so I was like, "Yo, Sonny, what's up?" He said, "Yo, I'm going to get a manicure." I said, "Man," he looked at me like he was ready to beat me up. He was like, "Yo, come on, man." He took me and he taught me about grooming. Because I'm a little kid. I got on bummy clothes, and he was like, "Yo, I know your mother be working hard, and she can't get like the stuff that I'll be getting, for you." I'm like, "Yeah, Sonny." Okay. So he taught me about manicure, like stuff. He taught me about stuff. And one thing he did teach me, have respect for your elders. Life in Harlem for me growing up back then was beautiful. Wasn't no violence, none of that. Because the blocks I lived in, I always had like mentors. One block I lived in was 134th Street. I'll never forget that block. Because in that block, Roy Campanella sponsored the block. Because when I first moved around there, he had like buses. He was taking the kids to the Jets camp. I seen Joe Namath. I met all type of people.
At the Jets camp?
Yeah, at the Jets camp. And they gave everybody shirts. I'm a Jet.
That's dope.
So back then, if I could go back in time and if I could get that picture, I took a picture with Jackie Robinson in front of the Y. I was like this. He let me hold his back too. I was like this. I had my little coat on.
You must have been 7, right? 7, 8 or something?
Yeah, yeah. And my mother, this is how this went. Go to the Y, because Roy Campanella had paid like scholarships for everybody in the block. Famous baseball player. He was the catcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah. But he got in an accident and he was paralyzed for life. So they seen me right in the block and they noticed I used to like baseball. I said, yeah, I like baseball. So I was a catcher. I was a little dude. I was a catcher. And I had Mike, this brother named Mike. He threw the ball. I didn't know how to operate. That bust my nose. It busted my nose. My nose was bleeding. I was crying. I was like, yo. He was like, yo, come on, man. I said, okay. So I got set again. Then we found out that Roy Campanella had sponsored the block to go to the Y. So I ain't had nothing to do. I just got out of school. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the Y. I went and walked around the Y. And who was coming out? Jackie Robinson. I was like, wow, wow. The first black baseball player. And one of this guy, man, he was a photographer. He said, you want to take a picture with Jackie Robinson? I was like, yeah. So we stood like, if you ever been to 135th Street, it's a rail right there, like going up. So we took the picture right there. When I first heard it,
like,
I was like 14, no. Yeah, 1972. Yeah. The movie was tight. Oh, the movie was tight. Clothes, all that. Like right there, that coat, kid around my block, them stick-up kids around my way. They had like, went to the tailor. You ever heard of Mr. Ori's?
Yeah.
And Mr. Tony's? They went there and they got hooked up like that.
Tell me in your own words, what does it mean to be super fly?
Got it all. You got it all. You got the money, you got the women, and people respect you. People respected you back then. You got the nice ride, but it come with a price. Come with a price. The price is either you could get killed or you could go to jail. Or people be envying you, like in the lyrics. Yeah.
Speaking of those lyrics, let's just touch on the lyrics real quick.
There's a night going strong, a lot of things going on.
So boom, the darkness.
The darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going on, a lot of things going on. That was it.
The man of the hour has an air of great power. That dudes have envied him for so long.
That's right, envy, see? Envy. You can't trust people like that. Told you before, right? You can't trust people like that. They laugh in your face and stab you in the back. It's like today in society. That's why now I stay to myself. Hard to understand what a hell of a man. This cat of the slums had a mind wasn't done. He had a hell of a brain, B. But he chose to do the dope thing. Can you imagine that, brother? If he would have went to Wall Street, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, or even that school over in London, Oxford. Yes. Because they got brothers that from Africa that go there for medical. Then they got some, it varies, man. But can you imagine a brother like that with the mind he had?
So how did you avoid not falling into that trap?
I didn't avoid it. I fell in.
Okay.
I had got caught.
Yep, you fell into the trap.
Somebody told on me. I was 17 years old and I got incarcerated because somebody told on me. I learned a lot, especially when I got upstate. And before I got ready to come home, it was a correction officer up there, big guy. He told me, he said, listen, I don't never want to see you again. He emphasized that. He was like, listen, I don't never want to see you up here again. I was like, why you say that? He said,
why he said that?
Because you're a smart guy. And and people like you. And I could tell you can offer, you can offer things. So I took his advice, man. I went on, came back, I came home, landed a nice job. Security, he was security.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm just coming out the joint. I'm green, I don't know nothing. So I had this lady, I was working in the phone company building on 43rd and Avenue of Americas. She said, young man, you want a better job? I was like, sure, I thought she was jobbing. This lady, man, went on, got me an interview. About a week later, I go to the interview, and I'm waiting. I said, they ain't gonna call. I goes home, right, from working. My mother said, you know who called? I said, nah, Mom. She said, New York telephone call and you got a job. I was like, oh, wow. My mother was so happy, man. She almost started crying, man.
What advice do you give to young people these days trying to be super fly?
Can't do it because it's not working. A lot of them, they parents, man. Their parents is not teaching them the right things. Because a lot of these kids is running their household, man.
Yeah.
That's deep, man. I mean,
that's real.
These kids, right? You can't tell them nothing. Old guys like us, we're trying you doing the right thing. You doing the right thing, right? Mm-hmm. You setting them up. Even though, higher goals and all that, you got programs for them, they work, come after school. That's what I used to do too. Remember Neighborhood Youth Corps on 113th and Lenox Avenue, right across the street from the projects. I was doing that. That was one of my first jobs. And I was still in school. Taking papers from 145th to the headquarters, which was, I got a good memory. I can remember. 145th was the main office. Mm-hmm. I would get the papers. Sometimes if it was nice, I'd walk back down and the lady be beefing. What took you so long? We gave you coffee. I'll be the stop dog when the spice got a little something to eat. Then I'm going downtown. Yeah. But other than that helped me too, man. That's how I met my man Joe, met his sister. Because his sister, me and her, we real close, man. This lady, she married up on the food chain. She married to Frank Matthews, Frank Lucas, his cousin. And he was, you should have seen the spot they had in our Esplanade Garden. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. So one time, she took me with her. We went all the way downtown, 34th Street. Ray had never seen a sister with a bank like that. Wow. She had a knot. Mm-hmm. He took care of her, man. So anyway, we go down there. She was like, yo, Steve, come on, man. I was like, what? She said, we going to 34th Street. I said, we taking the train, right? No. We got in the cab. I had a good time.
So were you in high school then?
Yeah.
What high school you go to?
Hughes.
How was that?
It was alright. I used to go to the basketball games because they used to play Brandeis. That was them games was rival games. And plus, them guys I went with Cisco and all of them. They used to bet heavy on the school games, all of that. So
so let's end this off by you saying anything about Curtis Mayfield himself.
Great man, great musician. I wish he was still alive.
Yeah, it's timeless music, man.
Yeah, man.
Timeless music.
Could never be another Curtis.
No, never.
Just like it'll never be another Marvin.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. But my brother, thank you so much, man. Thank you for living up to your commitment. And you did it twice now, so thank you.
You're quite welcome, brother.